Deep in the heart of an ancient, untamed forest, where the trees seemed to whisper secrets and the shadows stretched long and menacing, a group of friends embarked on an adventure that would change their lives forever. The forest was known for its eerie quietness, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves or the distant call of a nocturnal creature. It was a place where sunlight rarely pierced through the dense canopy, casting an otherworldly gloom over everything below. Jenna, Mike, Emily, and Dave had always been fascinated by legends and mysteries, and the lure of Bigfoot, a creature said to roam these very woods, had drawn them here. Armed with cameras, camping gear, and a mix of excitement and apprehension, they set off into the forest, eager to uncover the truth behind the myth. The air was thick with humidity, and the forest floor was damp from recent rains, making every step squelch and every branch snap louder than usual. As they ventured deeper, the sense of isolation grew. The forest seemed to close in around them, the trees standing like silent sentinels watching their every move. The deeper they went, the more they felt like intruders in a world that was not their own. The whispering leaves and distant animal calls only added to the growing tension, creating a backdrop of unease that would only build as the night approached. Little did they know their curiosity and bravery would soon lead them into a terrifying encounter with something far beyond their wildest imaginations. The forest's dense darkness was starting to settle in as the friends stumbled upon a weathered, abandoned cabin. Its wooden walls were covered in layers of grime, and the roof sagged under the weight of countless seasons. The cabin's presence in the middle of nowhere was unsettling, a relic of a time long forgotten. Curiosity piqued, they approached cautiously, their footsteps echoing ominously through the quiet forest. As they explored the area around the cabin, they made a chilling discovery. Strange markings, carved into the bark of trees, formed cryptic symbols they couldn't decipher. The footprints nearby were enormous, far larger than any known animal, and they were eerily fresh. The prints were deep, as if something heavy had recently passed through, and they led away from the cabin and into the deeper, darker parts of the forest. Despite the growing unease among the group, the thrill of potentially discovering proof of Bigfoot's existence overshadowed their fear. They decided to camp near the cabin, setting up their tents under the canopy of ancient trees. The decision to stay was driven by their determination to document any signs of the legendary creature. As night began to fall, the forest seemed to grow even more foreboding, the dense canopy blocking out the last traces of sunlight. The friends settled in for the night, unaware that their adventure was about to take a sinister turn. The first night in the forest was fraught with unease. As darkness enveloped the cabin and its surroundings, strange noises began to pierce the silence. The crackling of leaves and the occasional snap of a twig made them jump, but it was the low, guttural growls that truly unsettled them. The sounds seemed to come from all directions, with no clear source, creating a feeling of being surrounded by unseen eyes. Their attempts to sleep were disturbed repeatedly by these unsettling noises. At one point, Mike thought he saw a shadow move past the edge of the campfire's light, but when he looked again, nothing was there. Emily and Jenna tried to reassure each other, but the atmosphere was thick with anxiety. The feeling of being watched grew stronger with every passing hour, turning their excitement into dread. By morning, the forest seemed no less menacing. Their camp was in disarray. Tents were torn, and supplies were scattered around the site as if a great force had swept through. The group's initial excitement had turned to fear, their enthusiasm waning as they tried to make sense of the chaos. A blood-curdling howl, unlike anything they had heard before, echoed through the trees. The sound was so intense it seemed to vibrate in their bones. The friends were on edge, their conversations turning into hushed whispers. Accusations and paranoia began to surface as the tension mounted. Dave accused Mike of leaving the camp unguarded, while Emily and Jenna argued over whether to stay or leave. Each noise, each rustle in the underbrush, was now a potential threat. They were no longer just explorers. They were prey, and the forest had become a living nightmare. The final night in the forest began with a loud, crashing noise that jolted everyone awake. Panic-stricken, they scrambled out of their tents to find the cabin's door smashed open. The once peaceful shelter was now a scene of destruction, with furniture upturned and personal items strewn about. The sight was both terrifying and surreal, as if something monstrous had been searching for something inside. In the eerie moonlit darkness, they spotted massive, fresh footprints leading away from the cabin. With their fear escalating, they decided to follow the trail, hoping to find some answers or at least a way out of the forest. But the deeper they went, the more intense the fear became. The forest seemed to come alive with the sounds of their pursuer, the rustling of branches, and the distant, menacing growls growing louder. Then, it happened. From the thick shadows of the forest emerged Bigfoot, a towering figure covered in matted fur. Its eyes glowed with a sinister intelligence as it let out a bone-chilling roar. The creature's sheer size and strength were terrifying. It roared again, and the ground seemed to shake beneath its massive feet. In sheer panic, the group scattered, each person desperately trying to escape. Jenna and Mike, who had been closest to the cabin, ran together, stumbling through the dark underbrush. They could hear the creature's heavy breathing and the crashing of branches as it pursued them. Emily and Dave, separated from the others, were left to fend for themselves in the oppressive darkness, the sounds of their frantic footsteps and occasional cries echoing through the forest. The encounter with Bigfoot was chaotic and harrowing. The friends, overwhelmed by fear and exhaustion, struggled to navigate the treacherous terrain as they tried to evade the relentless creature. The night was filled with desperate attempts to escape, each moment fraught with the possibility of being caught by the lurking monster. As dawn approached, Jenna and Mike stumbled back to civilization, their clothes torn and faces etched with terror. They were disheveled and shaken, their once adventurous spirits now replaced with a deep sense of horror. They recounted their harrowing experience to local authorities, their accounts filled with frantic details about the monstrous creature that had chased them through the forest. Despite their distress, their story was met with skepticism and disbelief. The authorities found nothing but the remnants of their camp, and the forest soon returned to its tranquil facade, concealing the terror that had unfolded within its depths. Emily and Dave, however, were not as fortunate. Despite extensive search efforts, they were never found. The forest seemed to swallow their traces, leaving behind only scattered belongings in a chilling silence. The disappearance of the two friends added to the growing legend of the forest, with whispers and rumors of Bigfoot's presence spreading through the local community. The forest became a place of fear and superstition, with locals recounting the tale of the ill-fated group and the lurking menace that haunted the woods. In the aftermath, the story of the Bigfoot encounter became a haunting legend, a chilling reminder of the danger that lies hidden in the darkest corners of the world. The forest, once a place of exploration and adventure, had become a realm of fear and mystery. The bloody trail left behind by Bigfoot served as a grim testament to the terror that lurked in the shadows, forever etching the group's encounter into local folklore.